The screen fades in on a sprawling industrial complex in Indianapolis, Indiana, where Thornton machinery hums with the rhythm of lathes and presses. It's April 2025, and Jim Carter, a weathered 59-year-old operations manager, navigates the production floor with quiet authority. His hands, calloused from decades of work, trace the edge of a hydraulic component, a testament to the precision he's honed over 18 years. The factory is more than a workplace. It's a legacy built by Bill Thornton, Jim's mentor and friend, who started with a single lathe in his garage and turned it into a $30 million empire. Through Jim's eyes, we see the pride in every machine, every worker he's trained, and the unspoken bond with Bill, who once told him, "You're the only one I trust to keep this place honest." But the air feels heavy today. Bill, now frail from heart problems, has stepped down, and his daughter, Claire Thornton, a 28-year-old MBA graduate with a Miami tan and a leather portfolio, has taken the helm. Her presence is a jolt. Her sharp perfume cuts through the oil and metal, and her talk of synergy and disruption grates on the veterans. Jim catches Bill wincing at her suggestions to outsource components or slash quality checks. But the old man stays silent, his eyes tired. "She needs to learn, Jim," Bill confides later, leaning against Jim's office door. "Some lessons don't come from books." Jim nods, but a knot tightens in his gut. The storm breaks when Claire summons Jim to her office, now stripped of Bill's old photos and cluttered with spreadsheets. "We're modernizing," she says, flipping her hair. "We don't need old-timers dragging us down." The words hit like a punch, but Jim's face stays calm, his sarcasm flickering in a tight smile. "Old-timers built this place," he says softly, but Claire waves him off. "You're done, Jim. Clear your desk." No explanation, no warning, just 18 years of loyalty reduced to a cardboard box. The younger workers, people Jim hired as teenagers now with families, avoid his gaze as he packs. Rob Hayes, the head engineer, clenches his jaw but says nothing. Susan Miller, quality control chief, looks away, her hands trembling. Silence chokes the room. Jim carries the box to his truck, the weight of it nothing compared to the hollow ache in his chest. He sits behind the wheel, staring at the factory through the windshield, its machines still humming under systems he designed. But there's a spark beneath the pain, a detail Claire missed. Bill had insisted on a clause in Jim's contract years ago, a severance penalty of 2 years' salary for termination without cause, meant to keep competitors from poaching him. Claire, in her rush to clean house, never checked. Jim's lips twitch into a grim smile. "You should have read the fine print," he mutters, turning the key. At home, Jim sets the box on the kitchen table, the house too quiet without Maggie, his wife of 29 years, lost to cancer 4 years ago. Her absence is a wound that never heals, but her strength lingers. He picks up their wedding photo, her smile radiant under a veil. "You always said keep building, Maggie," he whispers, his voice cracking. "But what do I build from this?" The memory floods back. Her final days, her hand weak in his, her words clear. "Don't let the world break you, Jim. Live for the people who need you." Tears blur his vision, but he wipes them away, resolve hardening. He dials Ed Lawson, a lawyer friend who's been itching for a case like this. "Ed, it's Jim. I need you to look at my contract. We've got work to do." The next morning, Jim spreads the contract across the table, Ed's yellow highlighter marking the severance clause. $320,000 if fired without cause. "It's airtight," Ed says, grinning. "They pay or we sue, and they'll pay my fees too." Jim nods, but his mind drifts to the factory, to the workers still there, to Bill's legacy. This isn't just about money, it's about value, about proving experience isn't disposable. He thinks of Maggie's tree, the maple they planted 26 years ago, scarred but towering in the backyard. "You patched it up, supported it," he murmurs, staring out the window. "That's what I'll do." But doubt creeps in. Should he have fought harder in Claire's office, demanded answers? His silence feels like surrender to some, but to Jim it's strategy. Let Claire think she's won, then hit back with the contract. The choice nags at him, a seed of debate. Was he too passive, or is his restraint the mark of a man who knows his worth? As he sips coffee, his phone buzzes. Bill's name lights up the screen. Jim hesitates, the sting of betrayal sharp. Bill let this happen. But 18 years of respect pulls him to answer. Jim. Bill's voice is strained. What the hell happened? Jim's reply is cold but steady. Ask your daughter. The call ends abruptly. Claire's voice sharp in the background. Jim sets the phone down, his eyes on the maple tree, its leaves catching the morning light. This is just the beginning, he knows. Claire's ambition, unchecked, will burn through Thornton machinery like a wildfire. But Jim's not done, not by a long shot. He picks up the contract, folds it carefully, and heads out the door, the first step of a fight he never wanted but won't back down from. If you're moved by Jim's story, by the quiet strength of a man pushed to the edge, hit that subscribe button and join us for the journey ahead. There's more to come, more battles, more heart, and a legacy worth fighting for. The Indianapolis skyline cuts through a gray dawn, smokestacks piercing the April mist. Inside Jim Carter's modest home, the kitchen table is a war room, his severance contract spread like a battle plan. The yellow highlighted clause, 2 years salary, $320,000, glows under the flickering bulb, a promise Bill Thornton etched into paper to keep Jim from rivals. But Jim's gaze drifts to the backyard, where Maggie's maple sways, its scarred trunk a silent testament to their shared resilience. Her voice echoes in his mind. Keep building, Jim, no matter what. He clenches his fist, picks up the phone, and dials Ed Lawson. Ed, it's Jim, he says, voice low but firm. Let's make them pay. Ed's chuckle crackles through. Claire's about to regret not reading the contract. 3 days later, Jim sits in a sleek downtown conference room, the glass walls amplifying the tension. Ed Lawson, 67, with a battered briefcase and the calm of a seasoned hunter, slides the contract across the table. Section 12, paragraph 3, he says, tapping the highlighted text. Termination without cause entitles Mr. Carter to 24 months' salary. $320,000. Claire Thornton, 28, her arms crossed and her designer suit crisp, scoffs, flipping her hair. This is absurd. We're modernizing. That's cause enough. Her lawyer, Mark Sullivan, barely 30, fumbles with a thin folder, his face paling as he finds no evidence to counter. Miss Thornton, Mark says, voice tight. The contract specifies causes performance issues, ethical violations, or criminal acts. There's nothing here. Claire's eyes flash, her nails digging into her palms. He resisted change, she snaps. That's insubordination. Ed's smile is razor sharp. Where's the documentation? Written warnings? Performance plans? Appendix C demands a pattern. Silence chokes the room. Mark flips through empty pages, sweat beading on his brow. Jim, silent until now, watches Claire closely. Her defiance reminds him of Bill, but where Bill's stubbornness built an empire, hers seems bent on destruction. A memory flickers. Claire, maybe 10, alone at a company picnic, watching Bill and Jim fix a machine while her mother's absence hung unspoken. Was that when her resentment began? Claire leans back, her voice venomous. Fine. 6 months severance. Take it or leave it. Jim meets her gaze, his voice steady. 24 months. As written. Ed snaps his briefcase shut. We'll see you in court, Miss Thornton. Discovery should be enlightening, especially with multiple firings over 50. Mark leans toward Claire, whispering urgently, but she waves him off. You'll be tied up for years, she hisses at Jim. And no company will touch you at your age. Anyone who hires you can kiss Thornton's contracts goodbye. Before Jim can respond, Bill Thornton shuffles into the doorway, his cane trembling, his face gaunt. Claire, he says, voice low but unyielding. Outside. Now. She glares but follows. Through the glass, Jim sees Bill's hands shake as he gestures, Claire's posture rigid. A child's hurt flashes in her eyes, then hardens. They return, Claire refusing to meet Jim's gaze. Mark, Bill says, prepare the agreement as written. Claire starts to protest, But Bill's look silences her. He turns to Jim, eyes heavy with regret. I'm sorry, Jim. This isn't how it was supposed to end. Jim nods, their friendship a quiet ache between them. As he and Ed leave, Claire's voice cuts through. This isn't over, Carter. The severance lands in Jim's account a week later. $320,000 minus taxes. It's more money than he's ever seen, but the victory feels empty. Money can't replace the factory floor, the hum of machines he tuned, the workers he trained. Sitting in his backyard, Jim stares at Maggie's maple, its leaves catching the sunlight like her laughter. What now, Maggie? He murmurs, his fingers tracing the wedding band he still wears. The answer comes in a call from Henry Walsh, owner of Walsh Industries. Jim, you still dodging me? Henry's voice is gruff, warm. I've got a warehouse and a vision. Custom hydraulics. You in? Jim hesitates, then smiles. I'm in. Days later, Jim stands in a cavernous warehouse on Indianapolis's east side, its concrete floor stained with the ghosts of past industries. Henry, his white beard stark against rolled-up sleeves, spreads blueprints across a folding table. Small batch hydraulics, he says. High margin, niche market. Thornton's too busy chasing mass production to see it. Jim nods, his mind alight. This is his chance not just to rebuild, but to honor what Bill taught him, quality over shortcuts. He makes calls. Rob Hayes, Thornton's head engineer, answers first. Claire's gutting my department, Rob says, bitter. You got something better? Jim grins. Come build with me. Susan Miller, quality control chief, signs on next, her voice shaky but resolute. I'm in, Jim. Can't let her ruin Bill's work. Ethan Brooks, a programmer underpaid at Thornton, jumps at the chance. And Lillian Gwynn, a 24-year-old Purdue grad, brings a spark Jim hasn't seen in years. I want to learn from the best, she says, her eyes meeting his. And I've got ideas. Legacy precision takes shape. The warehouse buzzes with new life, but challenges mount. Equipment costs drain Henry's funds, and Jim dips into his severance to keep things moving. Lily pushes for an AI-driven control system, her laptop glowing with simulations. It'll cut production time by 20%, she says, her voice fierce. Rob, sketching by hand, bristles. Machines don't need algorithms to work right. Jim steps in, his calm steadying them. We'll test it, Lily. Show us what it can do. Later, Lily lingers after a meeting, her confidence faltering. Jim, it's hard, she admits, her fingers twisting a pendant necklace. Being the only woman, the only Asian in rooms like this. People look at me like I don't belong. Jim thinks of Maggie, who faced her own battles in a man's world. You belong, he says. Your ideas are what'll make us different. Lily nods, a small smile breaking through. Thanks, Jim. I won't let you down. Jim's heart lifts, but Claire's shadow looms. He uncovers a financial trail. Claire's been funneling Thornton's funds to an offshore account, likely to bankroll her next move. Worse, Lily finds an email buried in Thornton's server, accessed during a routine data transfer. Claire's been in talks with Global Tech Industries, a multinational giant, offering Thornton's proprietary designs for a leadership role in Miami. She's selling Bill's life's work, Lily says, her voice trembling. Jim could expose her, destroy her, but Bill's weary face stops him. Not yet, he tells Ed Lawson, who frowns. You're protecting a thief, Jim. Jim shakes his head. I'm protecting Bill. The choice burns, justice or loyalty. It's a fracture that could split opinions, a question of where duty lies. Claire's retaliation hits harder. Henry gets a call from a supplier, spooked by rumors that Legacy's using stolen tech. Claire's spreading lies, Henry growls. She's choking our funding. Jim's stomach twists. Claire's not just fighting him. She's waging war on his dream. The final blow comes at midnight weeks later. Legacy's systems crash, screens flashing. Give up, Carter, or lose everything. A hacker attack traced to a firm Lily links to Global Tech. The timing is catastrophic. Legacy's $5 million contract with Midwest Manufacturing is due in 12 hours. Failure means bankruptcy. Jim gathers the team in the warehouse, fluorescent lights casting stark shadows. We've got one shot, he says, his voice a lifeline. Ethan's fingers fly over the keyboard. Lily cross-references code, spotting a digital signature tied to global tech. It's Claire, she says, her eyes blazing. She's betting we'll fold. Rob checks components by hand, muttering, "Not today." The clock ticks mercilessly. Ethan falters, his hands shaking. "Jim, I can't crack it." Jim kneels beside him, Maggie's words from a storm years ago rising. "One step at a time, Ethan. You've got this." Lily leans in, her code analysis pinpointing a vulnerability. "There," she says, guiding Ethan. At 4:03 a.m., the screens flicker to life. The team erupts in cheers, Lily and Ethan high-fiving, Rob clapping Jim's shoulder. Jim steps outside, dawn painting the Indianapolis sky gold. They've won, but Claire's deal with global tech looms like a storm cloud. This is just the beginning. If you're hooked on Jim's battle, on the heart of a team defying the odds, hit that subscribe button. Legacy Precision's fight is far from over, and the stakes are about to skyrocket. Stay with us. The Indianapolis warehouse of Legacy Precision hums under fluorescent lights, but the air is thick with unease. It's late April 2025, and Jim Carter stands at the center of his fledgling operation, watching his team, Rob Hayes, Susan Miller, Ethan Brooks, and Lillian Gwynn, push through the exhaustion of their recent victory over Claire Thornton's hacker attack. The $5 million contract with Midwest Manufacturing is secure, but Jim's gut tells him the storm isn't over. Claire's deal with Global Tech Industries, uncovered by Lily's sharp eyes, looms like a guillotine. He glances at the maple tree through the warehouse window, Maggie's voice a faint echo. "One step at a time, Jim." But the steps are getting heavier, and the weight of leadership presses against his chest. The first crack comes in a phone call from Henry Walsh, his voice tight. "Jim, we've got trouble. Global Tech is spreading lies, claiming we stole Thornton's tech. Suppliers are pulling out, and our main investors spooked. We're bleeding cash." Jim's jaw clenches. Claire's not just fighting dirty. She's trying to bury them. Lily, hunched over her laptop, pulls up a news article. Global Tech Industries alleges intellectual property theft by Legacy Precision. The headline is a gut punch, and Susan's face pales. "They're dragging us through the mud," she says, her voice shaking. "What's next, a lawsuit?" Jim nods grimly. "Worse, they're pushing for an FTC investigation." Ethan, usually quick with a quip, stares at his screen, silent. Jim notices but pushes forward. "We keep working," he says. "They want us distracted. We don't give them that, but distraction comes anyway." The Federal Trade Commission launches a probe into Legacy's operations, freezing their accounts pending review. The warehouse, once a beacon of hope, feels like a cage. Jim meets with Henry in a cramped office, the blueprints of their hydraulic components now buried under legal notices. "We've got 48 hours to prove we're clean," Henry says, rubbing his beard, "or we're done." Jim's chest tightens, a sharp pain he ignores. "We'll prove it," he says, but his voice wavers. That night, alone in his kitchen, he holds Maggie's wedding photo, her smile a lifeline. "I'm trying, Maggie," he whispers, tears burning his eyes. But it's slipping away. The memory of her final days floods back, her frail hand in his, her words clear. "Live for the people who need you, Jim." He wipes his face, resolve flickering. He can't let the team down. The next blow is personal. Lily, digging deeper into the hacker attack, uncovers a damning email chain. Ethan, their young programmer, received a phishing email from a global tech front, tricked into sharing Legacy's system password. "Ethan," Lily says, her voice low but urgent, "this traces back to you." The warehouse falls silent, all eyes on Ethan. His face crumples, hands shaking. "I didn't know," he stammers. "Claire. She offered me a job, said it was just a talk. I clicked the link. I didn't think." Rob slams his fist on the table. "You sold us out." Susan steps between them, but her eyes are hard. "How could you, Ethan?" Jim, his heart sinking, raises a hand. Enough. Ethan, tell me everything. Ethan's voice breaks as he confesses. Claire's promises, his moment of weakness, the email he thought was harmless. I'm sorry, Jim, he sobs. I'd never hurt you. Jim's mind races. Ethan's betrayal could destroy them, but his remorse is raw.
Matrix Work Echo, sai lầm không định nghĩa ta.
Jim kneels beside him. You made a mistake, Ethan, but you're still one of us. Fix this. Rob scoffs, but Lily nods, her trust in Jim unwavering. The team faces a new crisis. Global Tech launches a second cyber attack, this one targeting Legacy's production systems hours before a critical demo for Midwest manufacturing. The screens flash. Surrender, Carter, or watch it burn. Jim rallies the team, his voice a beacon in the chaos. We've been here before. We don't break. Lily and Ethan work side by side, her AI algorithms pinpointing the attack source, a Global Tech server in Chicago. Got you, Lily mutters, her fingers flying. Ethan, fueled by guilt, rewrites code on the fly, his eyes red but focused. Rob checks every component manually, his gruff voice steadying the younger workers. Susan oversees quality, her precision unyielding. At 5 a.m., the systems reboot, the demo saved. The team collapses in relief, Ethan sobbing into Lily's shoulder. I didn't think we'd make it, he whispers. Jim claps his back. You did, but Susan pulls Jim aside. He betrayed us, Jim. You're too soft on him. Jim meets her gaze. We need him, Susan. We need each other. The choice sparks debate. Forgiveness or accountability? It's a question that lingers, divisive and human. Jim's strength falters hours later. As he lifts a crate in the warehouse, a searing pain rips through his chest. He collapses, gasping, the world blurring. Rob rushes him to St. Vincent Hospital, where the doctor's words are blunt. You're at risk for a heart attack, Mr. Carter. Stress, exhaustion. You need rest. Jim, hooked to monitors, thinks of Bill's frail form, his own heart breaking. Lily visits, her pendant necklace glinting. You scared us, she says, her voice soft. She shows him a new AI design, her eyes bright. This is for you, for Bill. Don't give up. Jim grips her hand, Maggie's words rising. Live for them. He nods, resolve reigniting. I'm not done yet. The true cost comes from Bill Thornton. Jim learns from Ed Lawson that Bill confronted Global Tech as CEO, threatening to expose their shady deals unless they dropped Claire's contract. To seal it, Bill surrendered 30% of his Thornton shares, losing control of his life's work. The effort broke him. Jim visits Bill in the hospital, his friend barely recognizable under tubes and wires. Bill's hand trembles as he grips Jim's. I was wrong, Jim, he whispers. Claire, I let her go too far. But you'll keep it alive. A memory flashes. Bill and Jim years ago, laughing over a broken lathe, oil on their hands. No forgiveness needed, Bill, Jim says, his voice cracking. Your family. Bill smiles, eyes closing. Take care of them, Jim. The monitor flatlines. Jim bows his head, tears falling, the loss cutting deeper than any betrayal. Outside, Claire stands in the hallway, her face pale, having heard every word. She turns away, silent, her guilt a storm unspoken. Bill's sacrifice saves Legacy and Thornton, forcing Global Tech to back off. But Claire's shadow remains. Jim discovers she's still holding stolen Thornton designs. Her deal with Global Tech paused, but not dead. He could turn her over to the FTC, end her, but Bill's final words stop him. Instead, he keeps the evidence, a weapon for later. The team, unaware, rallies around a new vision. Lily and Rob, their differences bridged, unveil a prototype for eco-friendly hydraulics, blending AI with Rob's craftsmanship. This is our future, Lily says, her voice steady. Rob nods, a rare smile breaking through. Damn good work, kid. Jim watches, pride swelling, but his chest aches. A reminder of the cost. The warehouse, battered but alive, hums with purpose. Jim steps outside, the Indianapolis dawn painting the sky. He thinks of Maggie, of Bill, of the team carrying their legacy forward. Claire's war isn't over, but neither is his fight. And he's not alone. If Jim's story, Bill's sacrifice, and the heart of this team have moved you, hit that subscribe button. The final chapter of Legacy Precision's battle is coming, and it's one you won't want to miss. Join us. The Indianapolis morning breaks with a soft May glow, but inside the towering conference room of Thornton Machinery, the air crackles with tension. It's been a month since Bill Thornton's death, and Jim Carter stands at the back, his weathered hands clasped, his chest still tender from the hospital scare. The quarterly all-hands meeting is about to begin, and the room buzzes with unease, workers, executives, and board members whispering about the company's future. Thornton's revenue has plummeted 37% under Claire Thornton's leadership. Contracts are evaporating, and quality failures haunt every production line. Jim's presence, unannounced, draws curious glances, but he remains silent, waiting for the moment he's been planning since Bill's final breath. Claire strides to the head of the table, flanked by a new executive team, young, polished, and visibly nervous. Her designer suit is impeccable, but her eyes betray a flicker of desperation. She launches into a presentation, her voice sharp, blaming market volatility and legacy inefficiencies for Thornton's woes. Charts flash on the screen, numbers spinning a tale of external fault, but the room grows restless. Rob Hayes, seated near Jim, clenches his jaw, his engineer's mind dissecting her excuses. Susan Miller, her lab coat a stark contrast to the suits, scribbles notes, her face tight. Lillian Gwynn, new to these meetings, watches with a mix of awe and skepticism, her laptop open to data that contradicts Claire's claims. Halfway through, Claire's gaze lands on Jim. Her composure cracks. "What is he doing here?" she demands, pointing a manicured finger. The room falls silent, all eyes on Jim. The board chairman, a silver-haired man named Harold Grayson, rises slowly. "Ms. Thornton," he says, his voice measured. "The board has reached a decision regarding leadership." Claire's face drains of color. "You can't be serious," she snaps, her voice rising. "I'm the majority shareholder." Bill's absence hangs heavy, his sacrifice, 30% of his shares to save Thornton and legacy. Still a raw wound. Grayson turns to Jim. "Mr. Carter, would you explain the new arrangement?" Jim steps forward, a folder in hand, his calm a stark contrast to Claire's fury. "Thornton Machinery is merging with Legacy Precision," he says, his voice steady, resonant. "The board approved the acquisition this morning. Legacy will absorb Thornton's custom hydraulics division. The rest will continue under new leadership." He pauses, meeting Claire's glare. "Rob Hayes will take the helm." Claire laughs, a sharp, brittle sound. "This is absurd. I hold 20% of the shares." Grayson shakes his head. "Your father retained 51%, Miss Thornton. He voted for the merger before his passing." Jim slides the folder across the table, its pages detailing the agreement. Claire flips through it, her hands trembling, her facade crumbling. "You're stealing my father's company," she hisses at Jim. "You've manipulated everyone. Bill, the board, even these workers." The accusation stings, but Jim holds her gaze, seeing not just her anger but the pain beneath it. "This isn't theft, Claire," he says softly. "It's business. It's saving what Bill built." The room erupts in murmurs, workers nodding, executives shifting uncomfortably. Claire's eyes blaze, and she leans forward, her voice a venomous whisper. "You think you're the hero? My father chose you over me, his own daughter. He gave you everything, left me nothing but his shadow." Her words cut deep, and a memory flashes in Jim's mind. Claire is a child, watching Bill and Jim work late, her mother's absence a silent ache. The room stills, the weight of her confession hanging heavy. Rob starts to speak, but Jim raises a hand, his voice calm but unyielding. "Bill loved you, Claire, but he built this company for everyone here, hundreds of families, not just one. You tore it apart, selling designs to global tech, gutting quality, firing the people who made it work. That's not legacy. That's destruction. Claire's face twists, her composure shattering. You don't know what it was like, she shouts, slamming her hands on the table. He was never there. Always in this factory, always with you, fixing machines while I was alone, while my mother faded away. A flashback cuts through. Claire, 10 years old, standing in Thornton's parking lot, clutching a drawing she made for Bill, only to see him drive off with Jim to a client meeting. Her voice breaks now, raw and ragged. I wanted to destroy this place to make him see me, but he still chose you. The room is frozen, workers exchanging glances, Susan's eyes softening despite herself. Lily's hand hovers over her laptop, her own struggles as an outsider echoing Claire's pain. Jim steps closer, his voice low, steady. Bill wasn't perfect, Claire. He made mistakes, but he didn't choose me over you. He chose what this company stands for: people, quality, trust. You could have been part of that. You still can. Claire laughs bitterly, tears streaking her face. You think I'll beg for your scraps? Jim pulls a small, worn notebook from his pocket. Bill's personal journal, found among his belongings after his death. This isn't about scraps, he says, placing it before her. It's about what he wanted for you. Claire stares at the notebook, her hands trembling as she opens it. The pages are filled with Bill's handwriting, notes on machines, sketches of hydraulics, but also letters never sent, addressed to her. She reads aloud, her voice faltering. Claire, my girl, I'm no good at saying it, but every machine I built was for you, for a future where you'd shine. I failed you, left you alone too much. Forgive me. A flashback unfolds. Bill, late at night, writing in the notebook, glancing at a photo of Claire as a toddler, his eyes wet. Claire's breath catches, tears spilling as she reads another. I'm proud of you, even when I don't show it. Be better than me. She closes the notebook, clutching it to her chest, sobbing. The room is silent, workers wiping their eyes, Susan's hand covering her mouth. Jim's voice is gentle but firm. He loved you, Claire. That's why I'm not turning you over to the FTC for the global tech deal. But you need to decide, carry his legacy or keep running from it. Claire's sobs quiet, her face a mask of grief and defiance. She stands, the notebook in her hand, and walks out, leaving a question in her wake. Will she change, or will she run? Grayson clears his throat, resuming the meeting, but the air has shifted. Jim steps back, his chest tight, Maggie's words grounding him. Live for them. He catches Lily's eye, her nod a quiet promise of the future. The next day, Jim stands in a small Indianapolis church, the pews filled with Thornton and legacy workers. Bill's casket rests at the altar, draped in a simple cloth, a single hydraulic gear placed atop it, a worker's tribute. Jim speaks, his voice steady but thick with emotion. Bill Thornton wasn't just my boss. He was my friend, my family. He built more than machines. He built trust, gave us purpose. He pauses, his eyes on the casket. He gave everything to save this company, to save us. We honor him by carrying on. Workers nod, some crying softly. Susan places a second gear on the casket, her hands trembling. Rob follows, then Ethan, then Lily, each gear a clink of gratitude. Jim's eyes blur, thinking of Bill's laugh, their late nights fixing lathes. He steps forward, placing his own gear, whispering, "Rest easy, Bill." Claire stands at the back, unnoticed, her face pale, the notebook clutched tightly. She doesn't approach the casket, doesn't speak, but her presence lingers, a question unanswered. As the service ends, she slips out, leaving Jim to wonder if Bill's words reached her. Weeks later, the merged legacy Precision and Thornton hums with new life. The warehouse, now expanded, buzzes with workers, veterans like Rob and Susan alongside young talents like Ethan and Lily. Their eco-friendly hydraulic line, blending Lily's AI with Rob's craftsmanship, launches to acclaim, securing contracts lost under Claire's reign. Jim stands on an observation platform, watching the rhythm of production, pride swelling. Lily approaches, her pendant glinting. "We did it, Jim," she says. handing him a patent application for their design. Bill would be proud. Jim smiles, his chest lighter. He is Lily. So's Maggie. That evening, Jim gathers the team at a community center, families filling the room. He announces a scholarship fund in Bill and Maggie's names for the children of Thornton and legacy workers. The first recipient, Ethan's daughter, steps forward, her voice clear. I'm going to be an engineer, like Dad and Mr. Carter. The room erupts in applause, Jim's eyes glistening. He thinks of Maggie's tree, its branches heavy with ruby bands, each one bearing a worker's name, a testament to their shared fight. The final scene fades to Jim's backyard, the maple tree glowing under twilight, its ribbons shimmering. He touches one marked Maggie, then another marked Bill, his voice a whisper. We built it together. The camera pulls back, the Indianapolis skyline in the distance, legacy's lights burning bright. Some lessons cost everything, but the ones that endure, love, trust, legacy, are worth every scar. As the Indianapolis twilight bathes Maggie's maple in a golden glow, Jim Carter's journey comes full circle, a testament to resilience forged in betrayal's fire. From the ashes of Thornton machinery, where Claire Thornton's ambition nearly shattered a legacy, Jim built legacy precision, not with vengeance, but with the quiet strength of those who came before. Maggie's voice, a whisper in the leaves, guided him through loss and doubt, her love the root that held him steady. Bill Thornton's sacrifice, etched in gears and unspoken letters, lives on in every machine, every worker, every dream kept alive. The maple's ribbons, each bearing a name, Maggie, Bill, Rob, Susan, Ethan, Lily, dance in the breeze, a tapestry of struggle and triumph. Claire's path remains uncertain, her father's notebook a mirror to her pain, a chance to heal or run. Yet in the hum of Legacy's factory, where old hands and young minds craft a future, hope takes root. The scholarship fund, named for Bill and Maggie, sends children toward horizons their parents dared to dream. Jim, standing beneath the tree, touches a ribbon marked with his own name, a silent vow to keep building. Some lessons carve scars deep as grief, but they teach us this. Legacy is not in machines or money, but in the bonds we forge, the trust we earn, the lives we lift. As Indianapolis lights flicker on, legacy precision shines, a beacon of what endures when we choose to stand together.